Welcome back to the Live Out Loud Show. I'm your host, Brooke Thomas, and today's guest, you are in for a treat. She is my kind of girl. She's a kingdom entrepreneur operating at a very high level in luxury real estate and development, while also staying deeply anchored in her faith, discipline, and stewardship. Katie Lober is the owner and broker of Lux RE Naples and the principal of Kingdom Builders Construction. She's also a partner in Kingdom Builders Capital. She equips believers to build generational wealth through real estate without compromising values. She's also the visionary behind Fit for Jesus, a movement helping believers live disciplined, aligned lives from the inside out. And today we're starting with business and leadership, and then we're going to pull back the curtain on faith and discipline that sustain her success. And I'm just so excited to have you here, Katie. This is going to be a really special episode. We have a lot to cover, and I just want to give a shout out to Merch for Jesus because we're both wearing, if you're watching on video at all, we are both wearing the Merch for Jesus, and I just feel really cool.
Yeah, I think you are cool.
Well, I mean,
you're cool anyways, but you look cooler.
I know that we both have like a heart, a big heart filled with Jesus and the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
But you know, we also know that over the years when we try to wear the Jesus merch that's out there in the public out there, it's boxy. It doesn't look attractive. And then when you started creating this stuff, I was like, girl, now we can represent Jesus the way that we want to represent.
That's really what it was, right? People would give me gifts all the time. They're like, oh, I see that you're really getting into your faith and you love Jesus. I'm like, yes, they're giving me like this Jesus sweatshirt. And this Jesus sweatshirt was like ill-fitting, weird, hanging, like you almost get a rash or something, right? It's like all the $10 things. Like,
I know.
If this is for Jesus, this should be the best of the best of the best. So we're just getting started. Merch for Jesus just kind of came up last year, getting some things worked out, getting some things developed so we can really have high-end material. I want you to want to represent Jesus. I want every time you put Merch for Jesus on, you'd be like, oh, I love that sort of like your pink sweater, like she wants to wear it every day because
I do.
That's what I want for this.
I wear it like I just had a skin procedure done that I was like kind of upset about. Yeah. And the first time I went in, I had that sweatshirt on. It made me feel like so cozy and just pretty instead of like, you know, my normal sweats that I would wear that made me feel not so pretty. And so I just needed to feel like comforted, but like also like Jesus was with me, and that's what your clothes do. And then today I just feel cool because it's black and it's like cool, but it has a heart and a cross. I just love it. We'll get into that, but like I just want to say at the beginning, for those of you that are listening, go to merchforjesus.com. Check it out.
Go.
Okay, so welcome, Katie. We've got a lot to cover. I know. I'm so glad you're here. We just had the best night last night.
My gosh, amazing.
We had a small, intimate dinner at my home with Chris and Nick Kane.
Thank you, by the way. That was next level. Amazing.
What was like the biggest highlight for you?
The biggest takeaway for me was like going after the one. You know, it was something that kind of came up where it was remembering that even if you don't have 100,000 followers or even 1,000 followers or 100 followers, like be thankful that there's one person that God's stewarding you for. Like you are on assignment for certain people. So just kind of reminded me of when you first start something and you're like, oh, I have one like. We talked about that too. You know, you look back and you're like, one like. Okay, that was one person that saw it, liked it, heard it, and then maybe even is taking that with them. So just not, you know, minimizing the reach, even when it's just one person.
Completely. Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so let's just get into this. I know that, again, it was so fun that you flew in from Naples to be here and dinner last night. And I'm just so happy to have you in the studio today. So I know this podcast is going to bless so many people. So let's just get started with business.
Okay.
So you operate in luxury real estate and high-end development spaces that demand, you know, trust, precision, and leadership. And I want you to talk about what you're building right now in Naples and how did Kingdom Builders Construction and Capital come to life? Like a lot of people ask us, me and you, how do you really bring business kingdom into such a, you know, I would say a type of business that a lot of people don't talk about faith in. And so that's why I'm so excited to have you on this podcast.
So the first time we started the company, it was Cana Homes. And my husband thought, you know, the first place that Jesus performed a miracle was Cana. So it was C-A-N-A. And it's like spelling that, saying that. It was just like such
I remember
a
when you told me that. Yes. Yeah.
You're like, what is that? I'm like, you know, where Jesus performed a miracle. And I'm like sober too. So turning it to wine, I don't know. So we started to think of what it could be. And so Kingdom Builders literally was downloaded to me by God in the middle of the night. I think like 3:00 in the morning is when God just speaks to you. I almost get excited if I get up and I think it's just to go to the bathroom or something. And I'm like, 3:00. I'm like, all right, Jesus, what do you got? And it was like the whole outline. I'm like, Kingdom Builders podcast, Kingdom Builder Capital, like getting people's money put into these builds that we're doing. So me and my husband build high-end luxury homes, like big, beautiful homes in Naples, Florida. Well, so do thousands of really big billionaires, right? It's a really like huge market. Well, we have found this niche. We found this place that's too little for the big people to hit, and it's too small for the small people to hit. So it's like that middle range. So we find properties for, say, 600,000. We buy them, we tear them down, so we get the cost segregation. If you guys don't know a lot about real estate, get with someone who does, because the cost segregation studies, the tax benefits that you can have, I'm a resource for you, but there's tons of resources online as well, because you can get tons of tax benefits. Then we tear the house down and we build like a 4,500 to 5,000 square foot, like killer house in an area that has like 1 bedroom, 1 bath houses. So people are like, what are you doing in there?
That's amazing.
We did it with our own money to start. So I think that's like the thing about trusting someone. If I wasn't willing to put my own money out there, you maybe shouldn't trust that I'm going to do what's right with your money, because you don't really know, like, well, why aren't, it's like when you build, we're to have a real estate fund. Everyone wants to know, how much of your own money do you have invested in this thing, right? Yeah. You talk about these financial advisors that are taking care of your money.
Yeah.
What do they even invest in? They don't even have money to invest half the time, and they're in charge of your money. So you can know that we have done it ourselves. We bought the house for $600,000, tore it down, built, and then we sold it for $4 million.
Wow.
Then we did it again.
Say that
Do
again.
the math.
Wait,
anyone good
say
at math?
it for the people in the back of the room
Listen
one more
in the
time.
back. So $600,000. We build the house for about $2 million. So we're in for about $2.6 million. If you do like some closing costs and things like that, say you're even at $3 million, just to be like rough numbers. We sell it for $4 million, and so we take that profit and then we do it again. So we were doing this, and my husband and I were like, you know, our employees were like, I want to get involved in real estate. I want to get involved in investing. We're like, well, you got to have some skin, right? So we started to put together the real estate funds for Kingdom Builder Capital, so that if you just had $100,000 extra money. Okay, let's talk about this. Extra money. Like tithing is 10%, it's not 90%, and then just figure out what happens. Like God knows that you need to sustain your family, that you need to live, and that then you give to the church and you give to others, right? Out of your surplus. Right. So if you have surplus $100,000 and you were going to just hand it somewhere else to invest, why not put it with us? And you can either be part of an equity partnership where you actually perform on the actual sale of the home, or you can be just a debt partner. So you'd make 10%, say, you know, a preferred return of 10% per year. It's per year. So you're making like, you know, that little bit, or sometimes it's 12%, which is easier math for people. Still really great. I'm always like to my husband, like, let's just do 12%. So people are like, okay, I'm making 1% of my investment per month. So we have an awesome opportunity for that. And we thought, okay, if we can do this for ourselves, we want to do this for others. Because I don't think people truly understand how to build wealth.
It's so good. And I love, you know, we're always talking about this in the Live Out Loud Network. We love having women like you that actually want to help other women talk about numbers, talk about wealth, talk about building it, not talking. I was just talking to Brett about how we want to talk about money and sales and wealth, because how are we going to help abolish human trafficking? How are we going to help single moms? How are we going to actually make an impact without money? And so it is important, and so many women are afraid to talk about it. So that's why I love being around strong, confident women that love Jesus, that understand what real wealth is, because nobody knows until they know. And I love when women explain it from a level of not knowing and then knowing. You know?
Like the confidence that comes from seeing it happen. The first time we made $1 million on a build, I'm like, whoa, like this can happen. This is real. And this is like, I just think about everybody.
It's easy to explain.
It is. It really is.
So thank you for that, because that right there, we could just be done with the podcast and we could say, thank you, Katie. Thank you so much.
Kingdom Builder Capital.
Just throw your 100,000, you'll make 12%. Let's go. 10 to 12. Okay. So a lot of people talk about kingdom wealth, like we were just talking about, but you actually live it. What does stewarding the wealth with integrity look like when you're making real decisions with real money? Because, you know, I think those examples will really help people to understand.
I do. And, you know, you hear about these all the time. When someone talks about a real estate fund or private equity, they're like, oh, did you hear about that? What happened? I mean, it happened at a local church by us where, I mean, people are devastated by what happened. They gave their money to someone they thought they could trust. They didn't really see the back round though, right? I just feel like I want to warn people. It's actually pretty easy to pick up the phone and figure out where someone has done business before and ask for referrals. I think that people don't ask for referrals enough. I mean, we do it all the time, right? You start working with someone and you're like, I could have just made a couple of phone calls and seen like, hey, how did that last partnership go? They're going to have their story. You have to discern that with God. You know, there's all that process, but why not at least take that effort and do that?
Yes.
So that's what we do. You know, we really try to make sure that if we're going to do a project that we would do it ourselves. So kind of like what I said before, we won't put money into something. I'm like one of the top realtors in Naples, Florida, right? I'm top 0.5% or whatever. I don't let you buy a house. Legit. People stay with me for decades now, literally 21 years in real estate there because, and they always will come back to me, even if I haven't talked to them and sent them a pie every Christmas or whatever people do, because they know that if they tell me something like, hey, Katie, I'm looking at this property, they'll send it to me. I'm like, absolutely not. I want them to know if I wouldn't put my money in it, you can buy it still, but maybe not with me because I have to stand behind it. Same thing with our projects. We would never, ever build a house that we couldn't live in, sell, resell. We have 3 different outs, and the fund actually owns the property. So that's the big difference is you're not just putting your money in and hoping like, let's see what happens. This is a gamble. You actually have ownership in the actual asset, the property, which is so important. If you don't have that in a current fund you're in, ask about that because it is important for you to have like skin, but also know that there's something that would happen like worst case scenario, where do I end up? So what's your exit plan?
I love this conversation because I know that there's somebody listening, many women or men listening that are like, I've been waiting for an opportunity like this.
Yes.
And I've been waiting to hear from somebody like this that will tell me the truth, that actually invests her own money in this, well, you and your husband. And you can speak to it from that place, which I think a lot of people don't. And I'm like, I really respect and honor and love people that actually have skin in the game where I'm going to have skin in the game.
Me too.
Or you speak from a place of where you invest. It's like, I'm usually not going to talk about anything that I want people to do unless I'm doing it too, or unless I've done it.
Amen.
Because then I that's why I'm unapologetic about it. I'm like, you can be unapologetic and confident when you actually are doing it too.
100%.
So yeah, I love this. I love this conversation. Okay, for somebody that's listening who wants their money working for them in aligned ways, what does Kingdom Builders Capital actually offer, and who's the best for it?
I think anybody who has that extra money, like we said, but if you have that extra money and you just are kind of scared, or you're just putting it with a financial advisor, but you just know that there's more, there is.
Yeah.
We finally cashed out my mom's 401k and put it with us, you know? It's like, why are we letting other people run our money instead of seeing the results and then putting your money where your mouth is, like seeing the actual build go on. It's so much fun too, because when you have a project with us, you actually have this thing called Builder Trend. My husband's amazing. Anthony, shout out to Anthony Lober.
Shout out to Anthony Lober.
Love him so much. He runs Kingdom Builders, and he has this amazing team, but he has a Builder Trend program where you get to see everything going on too. So even though it's just your money out and you don't really have say in the build, you're kind of like part of this process. HGTV was like one of the worst things and best things that happened to builders in the last couple decades. Like all of a sudden I wanted to pitch a show that was like DIY, like don't do it yourself, or we'd go in and like
that's my kind of show. My kind of show is DIY. Don't do it yourself. I love that. I will sign up for that.
It didn't go because DIY bought the company, like DIY bought the thing that we were talking about. But seriously, like you can actually be part of
DIY.
it.
I'm always like, I don't understand. I've always been like, why do I want to walk into stores where I have to do my own projects? Like DIY. I'm just not a good crafty person.
Yes.
So that makes so much sense with the building process. It's like, don't do it yourself.
Don't do it yourself, but get to experience it.
Yes, but get to feel like you're a part of it. Yes.
Everybody wants to see a build.
Of course.
It's so fun. Like trust day.
Yes.
Like demo day. Demo day is so much fun for one day, guys. Like after that, demo day is not fun at all.
Yeah. It's just getting out your aggression. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I love this. And I'm glad that we're talking about this specifically, because I think just in a small amount of time, somebody learned something that they didn't know before. So thank you.
100%. And if you didn't and you want more, you know, I'm available. My info will be below if you're just like, man, I've been thinking about starting a fund.
Yes.
I also work with a third-party consultant that helps people launch funds, fund launch. I mean, there's just so much importance in partnering with mentors and people who have done it over and over and over again, so that you're compliant, so that everything's on the up and up.
Yeah.
And I work with an amazing company that I can connect you with. If you're just like, man, I've got this this great idea. I just don't have the funds.
Yep.
I can also help you with that. So I love people creating wealth so that they can give. And I think people think they're going to give more, you know, like, oh, if I had $1 million, I'd give 100,000. I'm like, if you have $10,000 and you're not giving any money, when you have $100,000, it's hard to give. When you have $1 million, it's going to be even harder. So start that muscle now where you're like building wealth, giving it to God, you know, giving God what's his, and then giving on top of that. So I think that's important to remember with money in general.
Yes, and this is why you need to follow Katie. This is why at the end of this show, you're going to find out how you can connect with her even deeper, because she's got some incredible things coming up. So as you're listening to this, if you want more of Katie, stay with us because we've got some good things. I just want to pause for a moment and say this. One of my favorite parts of what I do is reading the messages that come in from our Live Out Loud network. I read the DMs, I read the texts. Yes, I actually read all of it. And it's honestly one of the greatest privileges of my life. I received this message the other day from one of our Live Out Loud network members, and I wanted to share part of it with you. She said, "This year stretched me more than any other, personally, financially, and spiritually. But my biggest breakthrough was that I did not quit. God refined me, rebuilt me, and gave me a deeper identity, confidence, and purpose than I've ever had. I launched my nonprofit. I served over 100 people. I rebuilt my business after hardship, and I stepped into rooms I used to only pray about. I'm ending this year with more faith, more clarity, and more purpose than I started with. And I'm grateful for this network because it helped save my life in every way." Wow. When I read that, I thought, this is why I do what I do. This is why I wrote my book, Activate Your Impact. And this is why I created a membership called Activate. Activate is not about doing more, it's about becoming more rooted. It's a place for women who want to grow their impact without losing their faith, their peace, or their joy. A place where vision is protected, faith is strengthened, and community truly matters. If this message resonated with you, don't wait. Go to brookthomas.com/join Activate to join Activate today. I hope to see you on the inside. I always love when I'm doing business with somebody or I'm really learning about business and wealth. I love to know about the person's journey, the success behind the journey. I want to go personal now. And the one of the many things I love about you is you have no problem going deep. You have no problem getting personal. And for me, it helps me to want to do business with people like that. I think that's hopefully why you're attracted to me too.
Yes.
And, you know, listen, and I know it's hard for women sometimes because we always talk about this. Why do women not want to go deep? Why do women not want to share their personal stories? Because women are not kind. And some women expose other women. And some women talk about women behind their back, not in the best way. Or some women will take your story and hurt your feelings with it. And so that's not worth it a lot of times. But I think that we know that at our age and our stage and things that we've gone through, it's the best thing that we could ever do. If you impact one person by going more deep and personal with your story, I know you are mature enough now at your stage of your life.
My age.
That your stage and age, even though you look like a baby, like 25, that it's worth it.
It is.
Because it's a lot harder to live life where you just have your guard up, because I know we both have lived life like that too. So before I get personal, I just want to say that if you want to say anything to that.
Yeah, I do love you for that. I love that I can be in a room with women who are successful that actually care about other women, because this was the first experience that I ever had. I'm like, oh, she's real. Like, this is real life.
And we like pink, and that's okay.
And that's okay too. I talk about this with my husband all the time, that women are so mean. And so you get kind of set up where you're like, I don't want to go deep because that person is literally going to use this at her next thing or next party or next whatever, to get after me. And I can tell you that from this community that you've built, I don't feel that at all. And I feel like if they kind of creep in, they kind of creep out.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're like, oh, she gonna creep
Can't
out?
always control everything, but yes, they don't really stay long.
Yeah. But I can say that if you don't share your story, so I grew up watching my mom, with my dad have to ask for money and be controlled by him, and she had to be at lunch at 11. She had to have dinner. She had to go to dinner at 6, not have dinner. Like if she had made dinner and he got home, it was like, get up, we're going to dinner. And just watch her in this schedule where I was like, I'm not going to have a man.
Yeah.
No one's going to ever tell me what to do. I'm never going to ask someone for money. So I became like in my early 20s, I became just the boss. I wanted to be the moneymaker. I would date men who were like little kids, where I could control them. I didn't mind if they left because I was in charge. I could take care of myself. So I think independence has become something where women think like, I'm independent, I'm an independent woman, and the songs and the shirts and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, we were created for a reason and a purpose. And so I ignored that purpose for 44 years. I did. I like ignored the purpose that I feel like God calls us for almost my whole life. And I met my husband at 38 and finally did get married, and I was still the boss. I was in charge of him. I didn't respect him. I treated him a certain way. And then we were almost done. I mean, it was over. I think a lot of women feel like this in a bad marriage is you're walking next to your husband at the airport and you might as well not even have him there. Or you feel like, man, did he even know that I'm here? Or they're just walking ahead of you. I remember this moment with Anthony at the airport. Literally, he got his bag out of the trunk and started walking towards the gate. And it's like, if I was behind him, he wouldn't even have known. And I was like, wow, like I'm so alone. And it was such a hard time. And I started praying to Jesus. I was like, change me, not change him. I wasn't like focused on what was wrong with him. I started just saying, make me the wife that he would want. Make me the person that I'm supposed to be, the woman that is supposed to like support him and respect him and love him. And Jesus, literally, I remember singing the song, like coming, like God turn it around. And I like just yelling that. And he did, man. I mean, I'm sober. Like he convicted me about alcohol, and I started to like just completely get away from friendships. I lost friends. I stopped playing tennis with certain groups. I mean, I literally had to transform my whole life, but it was so worth it. Because it's like my marriage now, he looks at me and I just feel adored. It's
How many years ago was that?
This was 2.5, like 3, like probably a solid 2.5, 3 years ago that we like made that big transition.
Would you say that was the season? Like, was that your season that you actually came into alignment with your faith and your relationship and it just happened like that? That, well, it wasn't, I was gonna say, was it that quick?
It was so
obviously
quick.
It takes like, you know, it takes a long time to have like an overnight success, or it takes a long time to have a suddenly moment or a miracle moment. But do you feel like it was a moment, and since then, has it really just gotten better?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I didn't know it could get better than what happened in
then
that moment.
Baptizing him and
your
mother.
Oh my gosh, I baptized him and my mom, and I just can't express enough how important it is to have Jesus in your marriage and to pray out loud together and to just have him run the house. Yep, I'm going to say it. The word surrender to me used to be like surrender. How dare you? And if I could even help one woman who's just feeling like she needs to be the boss, or she needs to make all the money, or she needs to be in charge of her husband, I'm telling you, there is nothing better than a man that has taken hold of your household. There's nothing sexier. There's nothing better. It's unbelievable what I'm watching happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can have help. I can help him. I can like submit to the mission and be on a mission with my husband together for God. I mean, it's just completely changed our lives. So I think like the marriage, I mean, I've gone through, we could go for, you know,
I think
all
Anthony
women.
needs to come and do a podcast with you on this. Like there's so many women that are in your position, in the position that you were just in a few years back, and they need to hear this from you. 100%. And I've gone through like similar things, and we've even gone through opposite things. You know, Brett and I always say we've never had a traditional marriage. When I say that, it always sounds awkward, because I feel like when I say we've never had a traditional marriage, it could sound like
people are like, you swinging.
Like it's not that. I don't mean that. I mean, like, we've always said from the beginning of our marriage, like there were moments where Brett took the kids to school. There was moments I did. There was moments he cooked. There was moments I cooked. It depended on like if he was out of town or I was out of town. Like we kind of have both tag teamed most of our marriage. But we have also played roles where I was more masculine. He was more feminine. I hate to say it that way because he's so masculine. But like
it is what it is.
It can get out of balance in a bad way. But then it can get in a balance that like the world says that's not supposed to be the way it's supposed to be. And I'm like, says who? Brett loves to cook. Let him cook. Brett loves to do certain things that people think women should do in the house that I don't want to do. Let him do it. You know, like who says who's supposed to do what? As long as together as a team, you're honoring each other. And I still do believe, as strong as we are, and I always tell Brett this, as strong and independent as you think I am, I still want to be led.
Yeah.
I still want to be adored. I still want to be looked at in a way that like you want to take care of me.
Yes.
Even though I know I can take care of myself.
They need respect.
And that's where you and I are very similar.
So alike.
You know?
Yeah.
And
there's so many women
need
like
to
us.
hear that. Yeah. So what did you say
Like there's
about
so many
respect?
women like
but,
us
But
where
about how
the
they
men
need respect.
Men need respect. We need love.
Yes.
And no matter how boss you are, women want to be the boss and they want to be in charge and independent and all that. You can still. And it's what she's saying. My husband cooks, right?
Yes.
That's okay. We're not saying like, go get your, apron on and stand in the house and just ask your husband, like, bow down and see what he needs. That's not what submission is. It's actually being a team. It's being one. It's knowing that the focus is that, but also that massive respect for your man is so important. And again, it brings out the best. That's
and
what we're
biblical.
meant to do.
It is biblical
it
for
is.
us, I think. And this is an important conversation for daughters out there, our daughters, other girls, other young women getting married and wanting to be, the boss and wanting to show that you're, independent, but also not losing that feminine side, not losing that, again, respect. Let the man be the man. Let the man know that he is respected and you want him to take care of you and honor what he's great at and don't put down what he's not. Because the other thing that I've learned about Brett, and he's about to turn 60, is like, sometimes I do have to look at him as like, he still is also and has tendencies of like, just like we have tendencies to have the little girl inside of us that still is working through things. We never talk about our men that are still having the little boy inside of them that they've never dealt with certain things because they don't have the spaces we have. So that's so important too,
Yeah. We need the space for men to be able to go back in history. We do it all the time. We're like, and then my mom did this and my dad did that. And then when you get into some therapy, when you get into some therapy with your husband, you're like, whoa, like the things that they hold in and they bottle up, it's unbelievable what they've been through and they aren't working through it. So having that grace for your husband to be the little boy or to figure out like, okay, why when I say X, Y, or Z, does it affect him like that?
Yeah.
There is a stem. There's a root to every single problem, right? So finding that root and then being able to pull it up. Or, ladies, don't say that thing anymore. Yeah. Don't poke where you're not supposed to poke. It's like just all maturity in your relationship where you're like, do I want to fight or do I want love? Like you get to make that decision almost every time and like say you're sorry. Not like sorry, I think sorry is like one of those things where men just want to hear, I'm sorry because I said this and that wasn't respectful to you. And to be able to say that out of your mouth as a woman and not feel like that's you, like going back to the 20s or whatever, that's not what it is.
It's true. I know. I love that. So thank you. Okay, so let's talk about your discipline.
Yes.
One of the things that I noticed when I first met you, you've got a great body. I give the respect up to the woman that gets up at early to take care of her body, and there should be respect. And that's you are very encouraging, impactful, and women look up to you because you make it fun. There's no excuses. You're disciplined. I really highly respect disciplined women. Again, I'm just going to tell you, ladies, I am more likely to do business and give my money to somebody that is disciplined in their fitness and definitely disciplined in their faith. Okay, that's a no-brainer, but disciplined in the way that their body looks. I'm just going to say it. Listen, don't write me hate mail or anything. Don't take this the wrong way because I know what discipline is. I know what it's like to not want to get up and take care of my body. I know what it's like to be emotionally depleted and feel like not working out and not eating healthy. I know what that feels like. And this is what I will say. It is a choice. It's a choice every single day, what you choose to allow in your body, in your mind, and what you choose to do with your time, with your workouts, and with your walking, and who you choose to hang out with. If you hang out with people that are like, you don't need that, you're probably not going to be the healthiest. If you hang out with people like Katie, that's like, let's go. You want a friend to work out with? There's no judgment. Don't take this the wrong way. Sometimes women feel judged if we're talking about bodies. You will have the best body possible if you put the right things in your body and in your mind, and you're hanging out with the right people and saying the right things, and you choose to move your body. Your body will be beautiful, and it will be exactly the way it's supposed to be. And you notice it on people. And I am going to point this back to I would rather do business with a woman like that because I know that she's thinking about her body, her mind, her spirit, and that does affect her decisions in business, her integrity, and her ability to actually do what she says she's going to do, which is integrity. Integrity is doing what you say you're going to do.
It's on the front of my journal. So I do a 40-day challenge. So Fit for Jesus is focused, intentional time, and it's for a transformation with Jesus. And it does include your body. Skinny is a superpower. You can be mad about it if you want to. I created Skinny Fit back in the day, and it's not about stick thin. Skinny is whatever skinny is to you. And the way that I want you to think about this, ladies, is what makes you be able to walk into your closet, put anything on in the whole closet, and feel comfortable, feel amazing, and walk out. When's the last time you did that? I'm not saying that from a side of judgment. I've been there where I've been like, I've changed 7, 8, 9 times. My husband comes in, are you going to change again? Yeah, I'm like getting little bumps. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change again because until I feel comfortable, I'm not leaving the house. Skinny is when you feel like you could put anything on and feel confident, like nothing's going to be here. I'm not going to be worried about my arm. I'm not going to be worried about all these things that just like bog you down because it really does affect how you show up. I know that there were boat parties I didn't go to. There were like there's things I literally wouldn't show up to because I wasn't feeling confident with myself. So skinny is whatever your confidence level is. It's not about a size 0 or this much fat or anything like that. It's like, when do you feel best in your own skin? It all comes down to integrity. Are you going to do what you said you were going to do, right?
Yes.
And it's on the book because I want you to remember that if you commit to something, that it matters.
Yes.
We have let ourselves off so many hooks, and to just keep letting yourself off the hook. Like, how many challenges have you started? How many books do you be like, I'm reading this book. I'm finishing this book. How many books have you finished? It's like, we're not finishing. Everyone's good at starting. It's so exciting.
Yes.
And that's why I put the challenge together, like 75 hard. I don't want to be like swore at. Like I personally try to watch what comes out of my mouth and into my eyes. It's really important to me. So I like the concept of that challenge, and I've done it. And when I try to lead people on, it's too strict. You know, and I realize that, look, I've got no excuses. If it's 10:30 or 11 p.m. at night and I need to run 8 miles, I'm going to do it because I'm checking that box and I'm going to bed. I realize we're not all built like that. So I have adjusted this challenge.
Okay. So I want to get into the tools but I want to say one more thing because this is where we're going to bring this podcast home. And I want you to really lean into the tools that we have because I didn't want to just bring Katie on here for you to just know how amazing she is because that would just be fun for half of you to be like, yay, I have a new woman that I can follow that's amazing. But what we really wanted to do is give you some tools, give you some ways that you can actually change and shift and give you like some things that you can apply and like literally be a better human being. But before I give you these tools that are going to change your life and we talk about what you have for everybody, I just want to say this one more thing because I love when I'm with somebody that feels as passionate as I do about health and wellness and aging and just, again, taking care of yourself. And I want every woman listening to know that it is a choice. And the reason why I say this is because I don't want you to wait until a diagnosis like I did. You know, I don't want you to wait until somebody tells you you have to do this or you might die. I want you to know that every day is a choice to learn how to eat, what food fuels your body, and what is going to make you the healthiest, happiest person. And what I always say is this: nobody is going to knock on your door and do your life for you. Nobody. Nobody's going to actually put the right foods in your body. You have to do it. And I was the person that did not understand how to cook. I did not understand how to do anything. And by a miracle from the Lord and the pressure of like, you've got to get healthy, back, 22 years ago, I became certified in nutrition. I have 2 cookbooks, you guys. If you have my Activate Your Impact regular book, I have QR codes in the creative section that talk about my book, my cookbooks, and they're all 5 ingredients or less. You just have to do it your style. And I learned how to cook. I learned all these things because it was life or death for me. But through that, you know what I learned? I learned that I had been cheating myself, lying to myself because I just told myself I didn't know how to do it. We don't know how to do anything until we decide, until we are interested in it. So I always hope these conversations allow people that weren't interested to be interested and to take baby steps. There's no judgment. Everybody does it differently. But, I just want to say that because what Katie's about to share is what you should be all in for. So what began as a personal rhythm with Jesus eventually became Fit for Jesus, right? And I want to talk a little bit about how God turned what you were living privately into a public movement and like what you have coming up. So
yeah, so I've always been in fitness and running. I would run races and things like that, competed in CrossFit, ran CrossFit gyms, opened them, spaces, all that kind of stuff. And then I would lead these challenges, and half people would do it, half of it wouldn't, but it never included Jesus. This was before I really like got connected to Jesus. And here's the other thing that you might not be doing, reading the Bible every day. It's like, oh, I don't really know where to go. I don't really know what to do. I'm not really getting up in time, all those things. So what encompasses everything is the Fit for 40. So I run these quarterly. So there's one starting January 5th. So if you are not included, get in there. There's a journal that comes in 2 days from Amazon where you have a daily checklist every single day.
Okay,
Like,
so if you're
no
listening
excuses.
to this right now
Yeah.
and it's before January 5th, because this podcast is coming out before January 5th, like go to the show notes right now. And if you're just listening, go to
it's actually Faith for 40.
Okay.
And it's either a 4 or FOR, but Faith for the number 4 for
Okay.
40. And the other thing is
and if
you
you're
can
listening to
sign
this
up.
after January 5th, you can still
get on
sign
our
up.
wait list.
Okay.
So every time we close one, meaning we start a challenge, we actually close it out and then you have a wait list for the next one so that, hey, you're going to keep connected. We do Bible studies in between.
So
because
good.
here's the thing, like I'm creating the 40-day, this is the first time with the Faith for 40 that we're going to have a 40-day Bible study.
So good.
Because I give you a song of the day, which is so fun. I give you a verse of the day. And then now I'm going to dive into that verse. So we're
Yay.
going to take that verse and we're going to read around it.
Yes.
That's not so bad, right? Half of you are getting the little app and you're reading your verse of the day and you're like, check box. I want you to dig deeper into Jesus. Please, Lord, I'm telling you that if you dig deeper every single day that you can or that you make time for, because I know that we all have time every single day for Jesus. We almost don't not have time for Jesus.
Correct.
But I get that we all come up with excuses or come up with distractions. I'm telling you that if you get this journal, it's so easy. You're checking off your 1 to 2, 3, 4 chapters of the Bible, whatever you did, reflecting on it, 40-minute workout, you're drinking water, you're sticking to a plan.
good.
I recommend no alcohol because I quit drinking in 2021. It's the best decision I made in my whole life. So if you've ever wanted to talk about getting sober,
it's why she's 44 and she looks 24.
Let's go.
It does actually
make a
reverse
huge-
aging. Yeah.
I really believe that alcohol is. Look, I'm not judging you drinking alcohol. I loved alcohol. I wish the last drink of alcohol I had was like champagne with Chambord. Personally, like what I drank last was so bad. But in general, I'm not against you for loving or drinking alcohol. I'm saying give it a shot. Give it 40 days.
You know what I would always tell people too, back when I was doing health coaching a long time ago, I said, if you're somebody that drinks 7 nights a week, you're used to drinking wine every night, or you go from 7 to like 3 or 4.
Yep.
And if you're used to drinking 3 or 4 nights a week, go down to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And if you only drink 1 or 2 nights a week, like say you go out on the week, try that. Those are the people that usually I can get to go like 40 days. And then after they go 40 days, they have the experience that you've had. And so many people, listen, it's trending, people.
Yeah, it's
trending.
cool.
Nobody's actually, they're saying like my daughter's ages are saying that like drinking alcohol is like how we feel about cigarettes. And I'm like, that's
gosh,
amazing.
I love this.
I know. I'm like,
I love what's
I
happening.
know. I love it too. Because, with Live Out Loud too, we decided to go, we used to serve cocktails at the welcome receptions because I'm like, listen, everybody's an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
choose to drink or not.
Yeah, like it loosens some people up.
Yeah.
And I discovered very quickly that God has entrusted me with women and their reputation.
Amen.
And if I'm going to be the catalyst for one woman that's having a bad day, that drinks a little too much and ruins her reputation, not on my time. And I just decided, I saw a couple things happen and I felt so guilty because those women were amazing and they were just having a rough day and had one too many. And I thought, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. And you know what happened? The conversations, the clarity, the joy, the love, the excitement, the happiness that came out of not having alcohol there. Well, you don't even know because when you came in, we already weren't doing that. It's been like maybe 2 or 3 years now.
love it.
It's been the best thing, and it actually gives people an environment which you're creating. Let's go back to you. It's not about me. It's about you, Katie.
I love your.
But this is why we're, you got to be around women. There's not enough women that are talking about scripture, the Bible, leading you into things without judgment that will take you to another level. And so it is important to talk about. So back to your challenge. This is a very life-giving, doable challenge. And what else do you want to say about it? How much does it cost?
It's free. You buy a journal.
They get a free?
It's free.
Wait, so how much is the journal?
The journal's, I think, $14.99 or something like that.
On.
Yeah, $14.99.
Let's
you get
go.
everything for free. It's a nightly text with the song. It's a morning text with the verse. I'm creating the Bible study if you wanted to buy that. That's probably going to be $10 or something like that online. It's 40 days leading you through because I know that a lot of you who aren't in the Bible, it's intimidating. I totally get that. I am only 2 years into reading the Bible.
Wow.
Literally,
and now you're teaching
what God will do in 10 days if you start reading the Bible is unbelievable, let alone 2 years. So I'm telling you, if you're intimidated by it, get the 40-day plan. It's so easy to just jump in a little bit at a time and see what God wants to do because it is the living, breathing word. It is food for your soul and your life, and it will change every single thing in your life. I can actually make that promise.
Yes, it is a promise, and I've experienced it myself. And you know, on a bad day, a challenging day, it's like all I have to do. And it's sometimes the hardest thing for some reason. Yeah. I mean, there's a little resistance for some reason, but you open up the Bible and you read God's word and it will do something to your heart and ask him to fill your heart with it. So having that tool, worship song and a scripture, it's life-changing. So thank you for doing that. Yeah. So everyone needs to do the challenge. If you get this after January 5th, jump on the next challenge. I want every one of the Live Out Loud members, community, network, anybody that's listening to this podcast at any point or anybody that Katie shares this podcast with, just sign up, just do it. Yeah. I mean, imagine if every single person listening to this, now can anybody from all over the globe? Yeah. Okay, so this is global. Okay, great. So all my listeners in Australia, Germany, I mean, UK, everywhere. Yeah. I want you to sign up for this. South Africa. We have so many people. I mean, this is something that you don't get everywhere. So I love this. Okay. Let's round this out with the Live Out Loud Network because you are such a big part of the Live Out Loud Network. You came in to the Live Out Loud Elite Mastermind with your high Energizer bunny energy. You have made such a big impact in that mastermind. So many women look up to you. You are you're one of the women in the group that participates at such a high level. And I really respect you for that. You show up and you give back and everyone loves your brand, of course, Merch for Jesus too. And this year you're coming into the Queen's Table and we're going to Greece together with Christine Kane and walking through the Bible. And I'm just so grateful for women like you that, you know, I love the ascension plan of women coming in and being able to continue to grow and really trusting the network. And that's why I want to honor you too. You're a trustworthy woman and I'm grateful to have you. And, you know, just you being surrounded with, you know, faith-driven, high-level women. How has that community really shifted how you see faith, business, you know, leadership and your relationships?
It makes me want it for everybody. I just want every single person to know that they can put faith forward and that they don't have to separate it from their business. You know, we called it Cana, but no one really knew what that was. And now we're kingdom builders. You know, everything has changed. I never wrote a Bible study. Like, I wasn't even studying the Bible. I mean, just what has happened in such a short time. And it's like the empowerment that you get from knowing, like, wow, like, everybody needs a little bit of this. Not everyone can afford this or not everyone can take the time for that, but they could do this. They could take this one little chance. Yeah. And so this community has it's propelled me.
What's the difference between like when you were doing it alone, because you were very successful alone. You didn't have to have a community like this. You were probably turned off by most women communities or masterminds, you know, like it's not like I set out to be the coach of a mastermind. Like that's, I still don't even feel comfortable with that title. Like I love to be a business strategist and a mentor and I love to be a connector of women. So even when people call me a coach or they even say, oh, it's just like another mastermind, I'm like, you don't get it. Like, no, don't say that. Yeah. But like I did a lot of things on my own too for a long time. And it took me investing in myself and being in the right rooms to understand the value of that, but then to also understand what was missing and what I needed. And that's why I tried to create it for women like you. So could you just speak to the woman that maybe is like, okay, well, I'm good because I still don't like pink. Yeah. Or whatever it is. I'm joking, but I'm not, because some women are like, you know, but today I feel really cool in my all black and cool outfit. But really, like, what's the biggest difference between doing it alone and doing it the way you've been doing it the last year with women that want to support you?
I think realizing the difference with real, biblically based women who have an actual intimate relationship with Jesus, being surrounded by women like this will change how you act, how you speak, what your relationships are like, how you do business, and it'll actually make your business better. It has done that for me, so I'm literally living proof of this. Merch for Jesus came to me at your lavish retreat. Then started spreading that around. Then Fit for 40 or Faith for 40 came up like at another retreat that we were at. Like God will speak to you when you're in the room.
So much.
Through people. I mean, just the experiences. And then he'll reveal some dark things too. I mean, there's like, I think that's the thing that we try to do is in masterminds that are just about like the numbers and the business, like, yeah, we're going to hit business. But business comes when you have the flow of grace and God in your life. And I know that this is the source of where everything good comes from. I want good fruit. Brooke, you're good fruit. You know, I know that. The first retreat I was at, I was like doing the numbers. I'm like, how does she do this? How does she provide all this? How does she get this type of woman all together in one little space to just give to each other? It's truly unbelievable. And you can't actually believe me until you see it. Because
that's the hardest part. So I'm like, I can try to explain it, but it's so much better when somebody else tries to explain it and it's still hard.
It's still hard.
Just get in the room.
There's no promotional video that will bring you to the revelations that you're going to have when you're in a room like this. And it's not surface level. Yeah. We're not here to be like, you look cute and isn't life great? Oh, your husband's so nice. No, like what's going on with your husband?
Yes.
What's going on at home? What's going on behind closed doors? Like what do we need to work through? What do we need to cut off? What do we need to loose? Like what do we need to break off? The strongholds that are holding on to so many women from being who God created them to be. It stops. It stops in a room like this. Like you literally feel, like I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit whenever I even talk about the room that I've been in with you. And I'm so thankful for it. So I can't tell you enough that if you haven't experienced a room with the Holy Spirit in it, that's what this is. This isn't like, come, learn how to pray or like be fake or anything like that. It's like not about makeup. It's not about hair. It's not about like cute clothes. Those are things that are just personal to each person. It is about the Bible. It is about Jesus. It's about your relationship with the Holy Spirit. And it's about realizing there's actually women that you can do life with. I think that was the biggest revelation for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can Brooke's going to say merch for Jesus on her Instagram, Everyone wants to be your friend once you have X amount of hundreds of thousands of people on your Instagram. Well, what about the people that when you had 2? Yeah. I remember when someone was like, commenting in my thing, they're like, you have 5 followers. I'm like, and thank you, you found me. You found me with 5 followers. Who's going to find me when I have 50,000? And it's like, that's where this has taken me to, is just letting Jesus lead me. Took me from 0 to 40 or 50,000. It's like, he's going to give you what you can handle, but he's equipping you already. So don't wait. You don't need to be some new person to get where God's taking you. God's going to take you there and you're already ready, girl. So just remember that.
You're making me emotional over here just because it's like everything that I always wanted and prayed for. And I always said, I will never forget where I came from. And just because I have like over 200,000 followers right now, and it was all organic and it's taken a long time and it's through consistency, but nothing special on me. It was the Holy Spirit, God trusting me. I always believe it's like the more he can trust me, the more he'll give me. So what you said was so impactful because the one thing that I always made a promise to myself, and I always will, and you people say things, but then over time they change. And I'm always like, Lord, wreck my spirit always for the woman that was me 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I will never not promote another woman that I love, adore, that I know, that by my reach, they can be reached. Because that is what it's about. Yes. When we consistently promote other people that we actually love. Now, I won't do that. I don't do it in vain. I don't do it all the time for everyone. I do it for the women that are in my network and the businesses that I invest in. So like, for example, when I'm even at this podcast, I'm promoting it because I'm like, people need to know about this podcast studio and the excellence that they have here. And I was praying and searching for a place like this. So I'm going to talk about it. When I found Merch for Jesus or the heart behind Merch for Jesus, or even what you were talking about at the beginning of this podcast with your kingdom builders, there are people that have been praying for opportunities to put their 401k somewhere else. People that do have hundreds of thousands of dollars, people that you don't know. I have found that there's a lot of people that you don't think have $100,000 laying around or several $100,000 laying around, and they do, and they want to put it in the hands of people that they can trust. And you are a trustworthy woman, and I will never not promote trustworthy people. Now, sometimes people change, but that's why I love our network, because we do have a very good handle on women and people by being vulnerable. And sometimes, listen, people do change. And I have people that have my back. We have people that have been there for 3, 4, 5 years, people that work on my team that have been with me for 10, 15 years. I always say mean girls are not really attracted to me. I used to say no mean girls allowed, but I don't even have to say it anymore because they're really not attracted to us.
Yeah, they're like
Or
not comfortable.
Yeah,
it's not
they're
very
not.
comfortable.
Yeah.
As soon as someone starts talking about someone, if they're not like in it, you know, like gossip girls, it's like if you're not joining the bandwagon, they feel like, oh,
yeah, they're like, oh,
are we not talking about her?
Yeah, we're not doing that unless we're gonna like help, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying everything you said, and you know, one last question for you about you and what you're offering. You know, for the listener who wants both impact and alignment. Yeah. Where should she begin today? So I want you to land this plane with like giving her advice, but also let's lead to like a call to action of like next steps.
Wow, it really is joining something, joining a mastermind like this, joining a group, joining the challenge, because unless you get around the accountability, and then, you know, just touching on what you just said too, just realizing that seeing other people win doesn't mean you can't, it means you can. So knowing that the women are winning around you, just know that you can take that to the next level, or you can come right beside them and get there. So your next step is your next little baby step. It's not going, like you said, from drinking 7 nights a week to cold turkey, I'm never going to drink again. It's just doing that one thing that you're prompted to. I would recommend that you sit with Jesus, because there's nothing I can say or Brooke can say that's going to trump the fact that Jesus has a relationship with you if you let him into your heart and you actually ask him, God, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do today? And there was a season like recently where God said, I want you to just sit with me and read my word. And so I'm like, well, I got like stuff to do, right? But it's like, are you going to ask for the next step and then get the next step and not take it? And that's what I'd tell you is you already know what the next step is. You've already been prompted for it. You've ever been told it. You might have heard it right now. You've got it. Now do it. Because it's the follow through that's going to be the difference in you and 90% of people that never do or follow through on anything that they say they're going to do. So look up the last few things that God prompted you for. I started looking up old like GoDaddy things, like websites. I'm like, wow, God gave me all these things. I haven't even acted on them. So my next step to you is sit with God and do what he already asked you to do, because if you don't do it, he's going to get someone else to do it. Yeah. But don't let that be you. Be the one that takes the call of God that's on your heart and go for it. It is so worth it.
So good. I mean, I can't say anything better than what Katie just said, and it's so true. And the one thing I really love about what you just said, you're busy, you don't have time, but you did it anyway. And I have to tell you, I have seen such a shift in just the way you even think about your business, people, your faith, but also the way you approach things. Yeah. Because I watch everything and I can feel everything, and we're all women, and we all have like things that happen, and it's the way we approach it, the way we look at it, and then you impact other people the way you approach it and the way you look at it. And I've really noticed the way that you have responded and looked at things, and the way you talk about things, and that is the word of God in you, 100%. Flowing through you. And you can't just tell people to do it, but when you do it yourself, you're showing people how to do it. So I want to honor you in that, because I've seen that and I felt that with you. And that's what a true leader does. And that's how God, again, gives you more. And again, you are a multiple 7-figure woman. Like, you've built a multiple 7-figure business. You're a big giver, and you don't have time to do the things that you don't have time for, but you make time. Busy. Yes. So thank you for that. And listen, here's the deal. If today's conversation resonated with you, join the Fit for Jesus Challenge. It starts January 5th. Get the Faith for 40 journal. And the Bible study, it's going to be on Amazon? Okay. On Amazon, and explore the Kingdom Builders Capital for Kingdom Aligned Investing. Make sure that you follow Katie at Katie Kingdom Builders. We'll post everything in Instagram. We love when you share, reach out to Katie and be like, I found you on the podcast, and just get connected with her. She is a boss, and she is just a beautiful woman on the inside and out. And I'm just so grateful to call her a friend too, and just a business bestie. So I'm just so glad that you were here, and I can't wait to see what this next year brings with Queen's Table.
I know, I can't wait. Thank you.
All right, well, have a great day. We love you. Don't forget to live out loud.